many times have you told yourself tomorrow? How many Mondays have you started over again? How many times have you laid in your bed with the light off, your phone face down, deeply knowing that you wasted another day, and the next morning you do the same thing again? That is not a discipline problem. That is not a laziness problem. It is not even a motivation problem. That is an addiction staring you right in the face. And before you scroll past this video, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm about to show you something that nobody has ever had the courage to say to your face. I need to tell you something that stings whenever I say it. I wasted years of my life. Years, not months. Years of my life where I was not growing. I was not growing financially. I was not growing spiritually. I was not growing in how I carried myself. I was not growing in how I presented myself to the world. I was not growing in how I invested in myself. I was not growing in how I showed up for the life I claimed I wanted. I was stagnant. I was doing absolutely nothing. I didn't see it while it was happening. And that's the most dangerous part about distraction. It doesn't feel like destruction while it's destroying you. It feels like, let me just scroll one more time. Let me just watch one more episode of that film. Let me just sleep for one more cycle. It feels harmless. But harmless things, when you do them repeatedly, it becomes your entire life. It becomes your whole life. I was stagnant. Why time was passing. Why other people were building. Why opportunities were passing through my hands. I was procrastinating and telling myself that I will start later. I will do it later. When is later? It's later tomorrow. It's later next week. It's later next month. It's later next year. Guess what? Later never came. I am here today because I refuse to let you sit on that seat that I sat in and have nobody looking dead in the eye and tell you to wake up. Let us talk about what distraction actually is, because we have been describing it wrong this entire time. We call it laziness. We call it procrastination. We say people are unfocused. We say people are undisciplined. Yes, those two exist, but they are just symptoms. They are not the root. The real root of distraction is addiction. And before you come at me and say I'm being too dramatic, let me explain what addiction is scientifically and simply. What is addiction at its core? Addiction is when your brain is trained to seek short-term pleasure over long-term reward. You know that something is hurting you. You know that something is not serving you, but your brain keeps going back to it. Why? Because it gives you something immediately. It gives you relief, stimulation, comfort, escape. Why do you scroll on your phone the whole day? What does scrolling do for you? When you're supposed to be working on achieving your goals, your dreams, what does scrolling on your phone, those moments, what do they do for you? What does reaching out to your phone, the moment you feel uncomfortable, bored, or overwhelmed, do for you? It gives your brain an immediate hit, dopamine, a reason to not sit with the discomfort of actually doing the right thing. And that's the mechanism of every other addiction. The more you feed it, the more the threshold rises, the more it deepens, the more it becomes more difficult to stop, to quit. It becomes your daily routine. The discomfort of you even actually doing the work that you need to do, becomes so unbearable. And in that moment, you need more stimulation to be okay. That is why when you wake up in the morning, your hand reaches your phone even before your feet touches the floor. Because you're addicted. You cannot do without your phone. You hate the discomfort of doing the hard things. You hate the discomfort of thinking about things that will probably change your life, change your future. Because you know that those things are hard to accomplish. Your brain is tired. Your brain doesn't want to think about it at all. Just scrolling on your phone makes you feel more comfortable. And you know what they say? You cannot grow in comfort. You can only go in uncomfortable places. That is exactly where I was all this time. I was addicted to being distracted. Let me walk you through the cycle, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. It starts with a trigger. You wake up. You're tired. You have not slept well. And maybe you not sleep well. You have a lot of tasks to do today. You have told yourself this is what you're going to accomplish today. The task ahead is already scary. It's already overwhelming. It's already so uncomfortable, even when you've not begun. Instead of starting, you want to escape. You tell yourself, let me just scroll for 1 hour. After all, it's harmless. You start scrolling. You start watching videos. You start watching pictures. You start going from app to app. Then you go to your private messages and start listening to voice notes, commenting on group chats, giving your own opinions. Your brain takes that information, relaxes, and the pressure disappears temporarily. But your brain has locked that moment. Your brain now has understood that when I'm uncomfortable, this is what makes me feel good. Then comes the cost. You'll be scrolling through your phone since morning, the whole day. You look at the time, it's already 12 noon or 3 p.m. I have not done the things you were supposed to do today. You now become ashamed. You now feel guilty. You now have low-grade anxiety. And what does your brain do with that anxiety? Your brain wants to escape from it. Your brain wants to be comfortable. It wants to go back to what it is used to. It tells you, reach out for your phone. You reach out for your phone, you continue scrolling, and the cycle continues. The cycle repeats itself. Because you've trained your brain on how to respond when you're uncomfortable. When you're faced with a hard decision or a hard choice or a hard task, your brain wants to escape from it. That's not a character flaw. That's a trained response. And because it was trained, means it can be untrained. Yes, and that should also woke me up, and I need you to hear this. You are not created to only consume. You're also created to produce. You are created to build. You are created to have something to offer. You are created to put something into the world. We live in an era that has made consumption so easy, so accessible, so satisfying, so endless. And a lot of us have forgotten that we are also producers. We forget that we have something to offer. We have something to build. We have something to put out to the world. You have to consume. You have to learn. You have to rest. You have to enjoy your life. You have to eat. So I'm not here trying to tell you to be a machine. But when in a day you consume zero production, there's an imbalance. And that imbalance will show in your finances. It will show your confidence. It will show when you're all alone by yourself in the night, in your thoughts. I need you to ask yourself this question. What did you put out into the world today? If you cannot answer that, that is information. That is all the information you need. That is the data that you need to know where you currently are. You see the people building, the people that are living the life that you admire, that we admire. They have mastered the art of building. They have learned to flip the ratio. They consume less and they produce more. They have made production their default. What do you actually do? How do you start? I'm going to give you what works for me. Practical system. Real things that cost me real effort. Number one, decide before your day starts. When you wake up in the morning, before you think of reaching out to your phone, ask yourself, what will I achieve today? One outcome, not a list of 20 different things you have to do today. One thing, one outcome that when you look at the end of the day, you say, yes, I achieved this. Write it down, anchor it so that your brain can hear it. Say that this is what I want to achieve today, and I'm going to achieve it. What does a successful day look like to you? So when you answer that question, write it, say it out loud, anchor it to your brain so that your brain will not get hijacked by everything else competing for your attention. Number two, make the distraction so inconvenient. Your phone is easily accessible. Take it to another room, flip it over, off your notifications, switch off your phone entirely. You choose to do the work, and in that moment, always choose the work. You'll be proud of yourself when you choose the work. Number three, start before you're ready. You have to start before you're ready. You will never be fully rested. You will never be fully ready. You will never be fully prepared. You will never be fully motivated, fully inspired to start. Start anyways. You can refunction your brain to learn the new you, to learn who you're becoming. In that moment, your brain now is following a new pattern. And when you move, movement creates momentum. So start now and start moving. New waiting for motivation is the addiction. talking about. Produce something every single day. Number 4, you have to teach your brain that you're a producer. You have to tell yourself every single day, I must produce one thing, so that your brain will associate your value with your output. So that when you don't produce something, your brain will signal to you that you have not done enough today. Yes. Your brain will teach you to be accountable to yourself, because that's what you need to be doing, to be accountable to yourself. Aside from today, I must produce something every single day. One thing is enough. Your brain will get used to that. Number 5, hold yourself with accountability, not guilt. So in the evening after each day, ask yourself, did I start my day with intention? Did I produce anything today? Did I let distraction win? If the answer is yes, at what point and why? This is not for you to feel guilty. This is not for you to beat yourself, but it's for you to understand yourself, because the way out of any distraction is self-awareness. You're self-aware when you're accountable to yourself, when you know yourself, when you understand yourself, you understand your rhythm. I want to leave you something. At the lowest points of my wasted years, I mean the lowest points of my wasted years, when I had not recognized how far I've drifted from what I was supposed to be doing or who I wanted to become. I just sat down one day in my living room, and I sat down. I was alone, I was quiet, and I was thinking deep thoughts. I had to ask myself 3 questions, 3 honest questions. Is this what I want for myself? Am I living my true highest potential? Is this the best I can give myself? And the answer was no. That honest, quiet, painful no was what got me up, not motivation. I am asking you a question. Is this what you want for yourself? Are you living in your true highest potential? Is this the best you can give to yourself? And if the answer is no, then you already know what you need to do. Focus is not an option. It is a personality trait. It is a decision. It is a discipline. It is a practice. You have to wake up every morning and choose to be focused before your feelings start getting into the picture. So there's no space for emotion. Focus is brutal. If you want to be a producer, you have to start acting like one. Get up right now and move. If you want to know the one thing that kept me accountable after years of failing, I'll be covering that in my next video. So make sure you're subscribed, like, and comment.
Blame it on me. You're just too scared to be lonely. No one's safe from the reaper. Not a saint or a sinner.